Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
Do you fear what I fear?
Have I been good all year?
And how do you make a sequel without a script?
All this and more on Gory Story Time.
Warning. Gory Storytime is a horror movie review show by a son and his dad who thought that letting his 5-year-old watch scary movies was acceptable. If you are offended by horror or talk about blood and gore by a child, or if you don't want horror movies from the 60s through today spoiled, then there is a remote stuck in your couch cushion next to potato chip crumbs. Use it. And of course, parental discretion is advised.
Why? You didn't use any.
Shut up and start the show.
Welcome to Gory Story Time. I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and his father, Craig. And quickly to answer those questions so we don't wait as long as we've been doing lately. No, and watch and see.
Yeah.
Anyway, this week we're going to do our annual Christmas horror movie review. We've done Silent Night, Deadly Night. We've done the remake, which is now canonically part 6.
Right.
They've just decided the remake is
that.
6 because it really wasn't a remake.
Right.
Except for one part of a little piece of a scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we did Santa's Sleigh one year.
Yeah, we've
We
done
did
a
Better
bunch.
Watch Out. Yeah. We have quite a few that we've done.
I mean, since we started the show, we've done a Christmas one every year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're finally getting around to Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. Mainly because we were showing the first one to your new girlfriend, and, might as well watch the second one. It's almost Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the plot. The first movie happened. That's pretty much...
You want me to elaborate? There's nothing more to elaborate.
Oh, and after the retelling of the first movie, a couple of other things happened, but not much.
Very much, not much.
But just so you know what we're talking about, why don't you roll that trailer?
The nightmare began with Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Need a ride, Santa Claus? Well, no, not exactly.
But it isn't over yet. In fact, the ultimate nightmare is about to begin all over again. Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 2.
Hey, you little bastard!
All Ricky ever wanted was a little kindness.
Very naughty.
And all he ever got was pain.
She was naughty.
Now he wants revenge. And this time,
Garbage day!
he's going to get it. Step by step, weapon by weapon.
Naughty.
Victim by victim. The terror's coming home, and he's all grown up. Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 2.
I've got a present for you!
Terrifying suspense shocker you've been waiting for. Last time it thrilled you. This time,
Bingo!
it'll kill you. Silent Night Releasing Corporation presents Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 2.
It.
We're on.
Okay, well, we can't see us, so we didn't know we were
I
on.
was really throwing us for a
Because
loop
it's
there.
still saying 666 here. It's like frozen.
All right.
But if you can see us, we can't see you. Well, we can't see you
We
anyway.
can't see you anyway. If we could see you, call a doctor.
This this episode is brought to you by Screw Ups. No, I don't know.
Alrighty then.
So, as you see, if you've seen the first one, most of the footage used in the trailer was from the first one. Except for it showed you all of the things
kills
that were new.
Ricky, like,
They're like, oh, and there's new parts. Here's all of them. But before we get into the
That's-
behind the scenes of how they made this work, we can't call it art.
no.
Not even joking.
Call it work.
Someone had to edit together the other movie again. Huh? Yes, you're exercising your eyebrows. We'll get there. But first, we have to make money. And how do we do that?
We
We
sell
shill.
ourselves out.
We pimp ourselves out every week. We always look for 2 companies that want to just back up the Brinks truck full of cash, and these are real products you can actually buy. And this week, Gory Story Time is brought to you by GST's Christmas album. All of your favorites, all your holiday favorites with a horror twist, like Here Comes Jason's Mom and Silent Night, Deadly Night. You're a Strange One, Leatherface, and of course, Freddy the Springwood Slasher. So look for GST's Christmas album today and have yourself a scary little Christmas.
And buy the GST Christmas album with 2 bonus tracks. All of your holiday favorites with a horror twist, like Here Comes Jason's Mom, Silent Night, Deadly Night, You're a Strange One, Leatherface, and Freddy the Springwood Slasher. And the bonus songs, Puzzle Box to the tune of Jingle Bells, and our version of Frosty called Chucky the Good Guy. After buying the first one, look for the GST Christmas album with 2 bonus songs today. Because why not repackage the first one again with minor additions to make more money and have yourself a scary little Christmas?
All right. Let's get down to this behind the scenes
That's
information.
Good stuff right there. All right. I guess I'll start. Ricky's eyebrows move up and down 130 times.
And trust me, it's noticeable. Ricky yells, "Garbage day," before shooting a man holding up a trash can. I believe that was in the trailer.
In the trailer.
It became a famous internet catchphrase, and countless videos of the clip can be found on YouTube.
Yeah. In 2004, the creators of the film attempted to contact Eric Freeman so that he could be included on the audio commentary for the DVD, but were unable to find him. Since then, Freeman would finally appear on the 2018 Scream Factory Blu-ray release commentary.
The movie received unanimously poor reviews due to excessive footage from Silent Night, Deadly Night. Over the years, however, it's gained a cult following, mainly due to its unintentional campiness as a result of over-the-top performances and a poor screenplay. Was there a screenplay?
Right?
You're telling the first story. Go.
Yeah, and
That's the screenplay. Go ahead.
according to James Newman and Lee Harry, the role of Ricky Caldwell came down to Eric Freeman and another actor. The other actor had more experience and was a better actor overall, but they liked Freeman's looks better, so they chose him.
Oh,
It shows.
They chose well.
It shows.
This movie was filmed in 10 days. 9 of that were people going, can you believe they're going to actually put this out in the theater and try to get more money?
It must have been like 8.5 days of stalling. I don't get it. The producers of Silent Night, Deadly Night wanted director Lee Harry to recut the first film and insert 1 or 2 new scenes with Eric Freeman playing a mental patient to make the story in the original film appear to be nothing more than the ravings of an asylum inmate. But screenwriters Lee Harry, Joseph H. Earl, Dennis Patterson, Lawrence Applebaum, they wrote short
Vignettes.
involving the patient's youth as he killed several people, and eventually it became the sequel. There wasn't enough material for a full-length film, so numerous flashback sequences were added. The film still ran short, so almost 10 minutes of closing credits were added, showing the full cast and crew of this film and its predecessor.
They did do that.
They did.
Well, they had to, because how do you not give credit to the actors that were there in the first one? Because that was most of this movie. Cinematographer Harvey Jenkins stepped in to play the Salvation Army Santa after the actor originally hired for the role failed to show up for filming.
Ouch. Daryl Gilbo, who plays 15-year-old Ricky in a brief scene, was actually 24 at the time of filming.
The love scene between Ricky and Jennifer was cut down dramatically. Yes, God forbid new footage appear.
Eric Freeman frequently received conflicting direction from the director Lee Harry and co-writer Joseph H. Earl during filming. Freeman had wanted to play Ricky as more cold and malevolent killer, but Harry envisioned Ricky as more wisecracking killer along the lines of Freddy Krueger, while Earl encouraged Freeman to be as over-the-top as possible in his acting.
All right. Co-screenwriter Joseph H. Earl provides the dubbed voice of the Salvation Army Santa, who gets Ricky his Santa suit. Ricky gets his Santa suit from. Earl also made sure to impersonate the Brooklyn accent of Harvey Jenkins, who played the Salvation Army Santa on screen.
Live Entertainment wanted Silent Night, Deadly Night director Charles E. Cillier Jr. to return as director for the sequel, but he declined.
This was banned in the UK by the BBFC.
Oh. Mother Superior's address is 666.
Which they give away in the trailer. The scenes with Ricky and Dr. Henry Bloom were shot over the course of 2 days. It was 10 minutes of talking, so of course that took 2 days.
2 days. Right. 2 different houses were used for Mother Superior's house.
Okay. Oddly, despite the first 2 Silent Deadly Night films having no big names, the next 3 straight-to-video sequels had bigger names, like Richard Beymer, Robert Culp, Maude Adams, and Mickey Rooney.
Daryl Gilbo, Ricky at 15, is 3 years older than Eric Freeman, Ricky at 18.
David Heavener originally auditioned for the role of Ricky.
Although Ricky's surname was Chapman in the first film, for the sequel, it was changed to Caldwell.
Because, why not? Everything's the same from the first one except for his name, apparently.
Oh, and the people.
The people have this at a rousing 29%.
And the critics, more accurately, have it at a 25%.
And by more accurately, he means still way too high. But let's talk about your favorite scene.
All right. I mean, it was given away in the trailer. I mean, what wasn't? But one of his kills, Ricky stabs this guy with an umbrella.
And
then opens it
on the other side of him. Yes. And it is
so cheesy.
Oh.
It's so bad.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't even look good.
That's your favorite scene?
Oh.
That says a lot, doesn't it? My favorite scene was probably part 1.
So about an hour of the film. Or more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that is my favorite part of this movie was the first movie. What was your least favorite part of this movie?
Ricky. Ricky was my least favorite part of this movie.
Oh, you mean the character that took over for his brother?
Yep.
You mean the guy this one's supposedly about?
Yep.
Him?
Yeah, that.
That's your least favorite? But what specifically, don't forget you wanted to mention.
His overacting was ridiculous.
It was.
I know they said 130, but that seems kind of low because every time he said any word, he was like, you guys have no idea. And he would just like move his eyebrows every single word he said.
Yeah.
There were no breaks. I don't know how 130 was all it was.
I don't know, because it was a lot of this over and over.
You
And
have
it wasn't
no
to
idea.
emphasize important words, because he did it with all of
All
them.
of the words. All of the words.
Um,
It was awful.
yeah, my least favorite part was probably the fact that they show you the original Mother Superior throughout the flashbacks of footage from the first movie. So then he shows up at Mother Superior's door to murder her,
And it's a new actress.
and they tried to cover it up by having half of her face cancer sores, except her voice and the rest of her face gives away. It's like they showed and played audio from the first one. It's like
Mostly.
maybe a year later, people wouldn't have necessarily picked up on it because, that was back when you didn't binge movies back to back.
And it was 3 years later than the movie came out.
But
so
you
like,
can't have two different people play the character in the one movie. That's
Right.
where it gives it away that it wasn't her.
Right.
Like, nobody could miss that it was a... Holy cow.
Yeah.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, now we like campy movies. We've talked about, what for April Fools and stuff, we talked about our love of, like, the
Schlocky thing.
schlocky stuff, Toxic Avenger
we just did for
Killer
Thanksgiving.
Tomatoes, and yeah.
We just did Thanksgiving for Thanksgiving. And that movie,
Was good was the difference.
right.
We've done Sharknado movies. Why? Because they're
They
pretty
did
much,
that on purpose.
yeah.
This was not on purpose.
This was, oh my.
They wanted this to be good. That's the problem.
I love that when over half of it is footage from the first movie, they still didn't have enough to give it a full runtime.
So they padded it with 10 minutes.
And it seemed longer than the first one, even though it was shorter.
Right?
Yeah.
So bad.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, normally with campy stuff, we can still give it a high rating because we like that.
But
This wasn't.
You can't look at
This
like
wasn't
that.
fun,
Well, it became fun.
but not. It wasn't the bad that is fun. It was the bad that is bad. We had fun because the bad was
So
painful.
bad. So I'm gonna go 1.5.
Yeah, I mean, I'll meet you right at 1.5. Yeah, it's not the worst thing
Because,
we've reviewed on this show,
I
but
did
my
thoroughly
word.
enjoy watching Ricky's acting.
The thing he said was his least favorite part of the movie.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but I think we can agree 1.5, and that's being,
Generous.
yeah, very generous.
So,
If you've watched the first one and you enjoyed it, and you want to watch the other ones, there are 6 if you count the remake, which is called
2012.
Silent Night, that they now list as part 6, Silent Night,
Deadly
Santa
Night
Claus is
6,
watching you, or whatever,
Silent Night, Deadly Night 6, Santa's watching.
which is just a remake of the first one.
Kind of.
Well, there is one scene that they remade.
Everything else is just for a different reason, Santa killing people.
I mean, yeah. And I don't know. I think Stephen King may have watched this movie because they also used it in the miniseries and in the book when the guy that owns the drugstore tries to explain to the kid, you don't really have asthma. This is camphor water. It's water with a little something to make it taste
like
medicine-y. And when he comes back as an adult, the guy's like frozen still, and then suddenly grabs him and it's basically the same scene as the grandfather in part 1 and part 2 because they just replayed it.
Yep. So, I mean, by all means,
Watch it.
go ahead and watch this movie.
If you want to watch 3, 4, and 5, which are good campy, you have, if you want to say you watched them all, I guess technically you got to watch this one. Or you can just watch the trailer and all the things where it's a guy that's not in the first one killing. That also happens.
Well, at one point, they're at a theater watching the first one.
They're watching one of the opening scenes of the first movie, and this was after the guy had got done telling the story of the first movie.
Right. And it's like, wait, so
Right.
first of all, in the one room that they were able to
Yeah, they
use,
filmed, the movie theater was the same white-walled room that they used for the interview with the therapist. It was ridiculous. It was like the size of a living room, and it was supposed to be a movie theater.
oh, and the guy heckling in the back, the guy sitting next to him was the director. I figured that out.
Ah,
So there's another fact for you guys.
anyway.
But
Anything else you have to say about this other than it's awful?
go ahead and watch it. Like,
If you're a
absolutely do go
completionist
and
like
watch it.
me, watch it because there is new footage eventually.
Yeah. The 20 minutes of footage from this movie is actually hilarious. So bear with it. Absolutely
On
bear
this
with
very here channel, this channel right here, Alex, who works here, does a show where he takes movies and makes them better, bad movies, and tries to make them better. What he would have to do is just edit the parts that are the first movie. But anyway, I think we've pretty much covered the fact that it's a rehash. It's almost like we're repeating ourselves intentionally to drive the point home.
it. If you want to see how much we liked this movie, go check out our first
Review of the first one, yeah. But anyway, now, over on this side of
On
the
that
screen.
side of the screen. Oh yeah. You can watch this show on Fact TV channel 1076 Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. and Fridays at 7 p.m.
You can like us on Facebook. And when I say like us, I don't just mean him or me. I mean Gory Storytime. I mean Fact TV. If you're liking Fact TV, you might even see this streaming live.
If so,
what
hey.
up? And if you're watching this on TV, what up? Or on YouTube, etc.
And if you're not watching this, how are you hearing us?
Yes.
All right. You can go to fact8.com and you could look at a bunch of the back episodes of this and all the other wonderful things that they do.
And you can also follow us on the old Twitter there. I'm at Craig Jakes, all one word, all lowercase, just Craig Jakes.
I'm at Jason T. Jake 17, capital J, capital T, capital J, capital 17.
And that's not the one you usually
That's
use.
not really the one I
but
use.
That's
But, you
about
know.
it. We don't really talk about the show, but it's our own personal stuff.
Yeah. And because it's that episode, until next time, I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and Father Craig. And
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas
And sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams.